Back in the old days when villages in ancient Japan were constantly attacked by bandits, the wealthy class felt the need to protect their territories. This resulted in demand for services of warriors, the samurais, which translates to those who serve. With time, they became a distinguished class that would later govern Japan for about 700 years. The history of the samurai. The existence of samurai can be traced back in the Heian period campaigns from 794 to 1185. The campaigns were to subdue the native Emishi people in the Tohoku region. It happened that at that time warriors were largely hired by wealthy landowners for their own protection. With time, as Japan's political landscape shifted, prominent clans such as Minamoto and Taira began to fight for power, beginning the Genpei War. This war lasted for 5 years and Minamoto Yoritomo emerged to be victorious. Minamoto then established the superiority of the samurai over the aristocracy in 1192. As the lord of the samurai evolved from minimal protectors to formidable warriors. Samurai, all better known as bushi warriors, became strong and famous. Their martial skills made them to be highly demanded by the feudal lords to defend their territories as well as to fight hostile tribes and bandits. After the Genpei War, Minamoto had the authority to organize soldiers as well as to collect tax. Initially, taxes were usually paid with rice, but with time, as the figure of the samurai started to take shape, they began to accumulate several military functions. Samurai in ordinary life wore outfits that consisted of several parts. The first layer consisted of special hakama and kimono with short sleeve, although high-ranking samurai equipped with yumi or bows and who fought on horseback wore oyuroi, while lower-ranking samurai equipped with naginata and who fought on foot wore domaru. On the head, they covered themselves with large wicker-cone-shaped hats that was not just part of their uniform but also to hide their face from strangers. They often shaved the front portion of the hair and the rest of the hair was worn long and tied at the back of the head in either a band chisengami or 3 times folded sirida via mitsuori. On occurrence of a war, samurai would put on armor not only to protect the warrior but also to scare away enemies. A set of armor consisted of all metal plates and helmets. A samurai's helmet, kabuto, was most frequently made from riveted iron or steel plates. On occasion, a face mark or menpo with fierce sculpted features and mustache was worn. The medieval armor and helmet typically indicated a samurai's rank, division, and home region via their colored stitching, heraldic badges, and painted symbols. Their weapons included bows, arrows, spear, and the main weapon was the sword. The swords were carved and made from steel. The 2 swords of the samurai were katana and wakizashi, together known as daisho. The most skilled swordman was Mishoshi Miyamoto, and their combat tactic was developed through wrestling, hitting, swordsmanship, archery, riding, and knot tying. Not only did men serve as samurai but female as well, where a female warrior was called Ona Bugeisha or Ona Mosha. These were not just mere wives or daughters of the samurai, they were skilled fighters in their own space. They were also members of the bushi warrior class in feudal Japan and were trained in the use of weapons to protect their household, family, and honor in times of war. Influential examples of Ona Mosha were Hangaku Gozen and Tomoe Gozen. To become a samurai, one had to be born by samurai parents, adopted by samurai family with permission of authorities, or through marriage to a samurai family. In these marriages, a dowry was brought by the woman and was used to start the couple's new life together. A samurai would have a mistress, but her background was strictly reviewed by higher-ranked samurais. Samurai were supposed to live their lives in designated districts of the castle towns during the Edo period, with an atmosphere of gated residences with narrow lines and earthen walls. They were being driven by an ethical code over Japanese warrior known as Bushido. Bushido strictly emphasized on moral codes such as loyalty, respect, honesty, courage, and consistency. It also allowed them to earn a reputation and status amongst their peers and masters. Their services did not go unrecognized, as they were usually rewarded with land, gifts, or food. The most powerful samurai got land from their daimyo or land-owning lords, while the rest received food, usually paid in multiple koku. During the Edo period, a rigid social caste system was established that placed the samurai at the top, followed by the farmers, artisans, and merchants respectively. Samurai were then put under three principal ranks, where the highest were hatamoto or bannermen, followed by goshi or rustic warrior who would farm their master's land but could not have the two swords of the full rank of the samurai, and the lowest and vassals of the feudal lord kokenin or housemen. Those in the highest ranks were expected to fight to death, even if it meant killing oneself to avoid capture. The honorable method was seppuku or self-disembowelment, where he had to cut his abdomen with a knife from left to right, as stomach was considered to contain the spirit. However, with the arrival of modern military, samurai became increasingly obsolete. The importance of martial skills declined, and they shifted to skills such as teaching and artistic works. In 1868, the Tokugawa shogun or great general who governed Japan during the feudal period lost his power, and the emperor was restored to a supreme position. The emperor took the name Meiji or enlightened rule in the Meiji Restoration, and the samurai system ended. Nevertheless, the influence of this Japanese warrior still manifests itself deeply in the Japanese culture and samurai heritage, be it in historical residences, museums, historical theme parks, dress-up tours, or even castles, a sign that the samurai heritage can never fade away in the Japanese culture.